Hey everybody, Dom here. Happy Christmas! Today, we're going to reveal new Team Fortress 2 maps. You know, the 4 ones that were added for Christmas, for Smissmas. Now, I'm freezing outside, so let's go quickly. Let's wrap this up.
Here we are on Payload Pier, the first of 4 maps added in the Smissmas 2020 update. This map, unlike the other maps added, is not Christmas themed in the slightest. This map has actually existed for a very long time before the update. It was, I'm gonna say, really liked. It was really greatly, people like this map. Definitely, people really like this map, and so it got included alongside the Christmas maps. It's existed for a long time in the community, and people have played it for a long time. It's really well made. So, I guess we'll start off in the spawn area. This is Blue's spawn. In my experience in playing this map, Blue has the advantage in this area, which is logical and reasonable. They should be able to take their card out and at least push it a little bit before they lose, if that happens at all. There's spawn capping a little bit, maybe, but it really feels like that Blue has the advantage in this area. So, if spawn capping occurs, it's probably rare. The first most notable thing about this map is it contains a lot of Easter eggs. So, for example, this cart. There's a hamburger here. It appears in other places in this map as well. Let's move on. In spawn, there's this room. I wonder why there's a vent over here. If you go through it, you eventually end up in this room. Amazing. A dance floor room. A room with a dance floor. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a dance floor room. Yeah, I imagine people were having parties here. I mean, maybe. I mean, you have to take a vent to get here, and that's kind of, in real life, you know, people don't really take vents to get to places outside of movies. That's actually, you know, secret room. I want to say it's a secret room, but no. Everyone knows, everyone is aware, everyone has seen this. In fact, I believe, the first time I played this map, after the update launched, you know, because I no-clip around the map to see their layout, get, you know, a general idea of how they look and how they feel. And that's like the first thing I noticed, that secret room. Anyways, let's move on. So, the first area is pretty straightforward, it's good. Here, once Blue captures this point, I think the red spawn changes, but basically the momentum they have at this point in the game, more or less. It depends on situations. You know, every game is different. You can have skill levels that vary differently from match to match, but in my experience, when Blue gets this point, they keep going. They're rolling down here. They roll to this area, and they keep rolling. They just keep rolling. So, this area down here, in my experience, like I said, Blue normally just has a cakewalk in this area. It's only at this point where they actually have, like, some resistance. Because this is basically reds coming from over here and from over here. At this point, they have the higher ground. They have the higher ground. The front line is in this area once Blue gets to that point. So here's actually some resistance. And yeah, people may not know this, but over here, this is actually, you go underwater, you go underneath there. It's a little room full of supplies. Well, I mean, an ammo pack and a health pack. So full of supplies in the sense of Team Fortress 2. So moving on. Hey, look. Another hamburger. Amazing. This map is very nicely made. Beautiful, some might say. Hey look, a reference to SpongeBob. Amazing. Moving on. This area over here plays alright. It's not my favorite area in the world. Yeah, it's alright. Once the cart gets over here, this crane thing moves into place. It just sort of glides there. And then the cart could continue on. I dig it. It's cool. It's interactive. It's pseudo-interactive. It's not actually interactive. It's interesting. It's good. I like it. I like it. A little thematic sort of touch. Yeah, they could have just done nothing. They could have just made it a bridge. But instead, they made a little crane sort of thing. And I dig it. This area, when you're in the water, getting out of water in Source Engine games is kind of meh. Not the best experience in the world. Pro tip, hold down spacebar. Maybe it's a little easier than... it's easier than the alternative of looking upwards and moving forwards. So, hold on spacebar to get out of the water easilier. If easilier was a word. Blue's original spawn, Red's original spawn is over here. Then they go over here and leave to this area. It's good that there's arrows. Some of the maps, added don't have arrows. We'll get to you later on, what I'm referring to. We'll get to it later on. This area's okay. This area here, quite nice too. This is a beautiful area. This is a beautiful map. Overall, I'm going to say this map doesn't really have that many faults. I can't think of something outrageous, egregious, horrible. There's nothing horrible. It's good. It works well. And here's the final area. The cart goes up this area, and then it becomes part of the roller coaster. Like, it goes down the roller coaster track. Originally, I was thinking, that's kind of cool. That's amazing. Imagine it goes through the entire track. No, it just sort of explodes over there, and then there's fireworks. But that's cool, too. I dig it. Oh my god. Another hamburger. Amazing. How many hamburgers are there on this map? I guess the world will never know. This area, nicely detailed. It's beautiful. Down there, with Ferris wheel is, not as nice, but it's reasonable because it's in the distance. You don't see it from very closely. You don't see it very closely, so it's good. It looks nice in silhouette, which is the point. Things should look uglier at a distance yeah. They should be simpler and uglier, to save resources, to make games run well. Now that I think about it, there's actually one thing I dislike about this map, and that is, let me show you. I have to enable the HUD, and then click the I key. This over here. The image is used for, just like intro images. They go off the screen. They go off the chalkboard on the right. I'd say to developers of this map, developers, consider using only 3 screenshots, or like move them aside a little bit, or move them to the left, because they come off the side, and that doesn't look great. Alright, on to the next map. And here we are on Capture the Flag Snowfall, a festive version of Capture the Flag Landfall. And I love that name. That name, it's just slightly different, but it makes perfect sense. It's good wordplay. Yeah, it's amazing. Snowfall, because it's snowing, because the original name is Landfall. That's just great. This map contains Easter eggs, but this one already exists, I think. Maybe it's a little different, but forget about that. That's unimportant. The main difference is that everything is sort of Christmas themed. There's lights in the sky, a moon, and Christmas lights, and snowing. So, overall, an improvement. Actually, it's a little hard to see in some places, so, if you were playing competitively, I'd say, why would you be, first I'd say, why would you be playing Capture the Flag competitively? Second, I'd say, probably the original's better for that. Yeah. So, the flags were switched out for presents, and that's beautiful. That's great. That's thematic. I love it. I dig it. One thing I dislike about this map is the annoying sound that plays and spawns. It's sort of a repeating, jingly sound, but it's not really, like, it doesn't have a good rhythm to it. It just sort of plays, and it's like, not great. One thing I also dislike is the star on top of well, not the star, but the effect that plays. This is the wrong thing, I think, okay? I'm pretty sure the original Team Fortress 2 maps are guilty of this. You're supposed to use a sprite entity instead of using, the entity that makes a glowing effect, like for the end of tunnels, like to pretend that an area portal isn't there. So let's go back to the year 2000 something, when you're playing Half-Life 2. In Half-Life 2, do you remember the coastal section where you exit a tunnel and all you see is like a glowing effect of whiteness before you get out of there? So that effect is a thing, a entity. And you put on lights. You could put on lights. This is not it. This is just a regular, different, like a directional sort of thing. You could put it on lights. And the original Team Fortress 2 maps, they did that. But then people were like, that's stupid. You're supposed to use sprites. It looks nicer. And so, when you go closer to this star, it goes away, right? Just like when you go closer to exiting a tunnel, a dark tunnel, and the light lens flare sort of effect goes away. So this is like the wrong effect. Please don't use this. It just looks bad. It looks, well, why would it go away when you go closer? It's glowing, right? And then, I don't like it. Let's move on. Let's forget about all that. The map is beautiful. I dig it. There's some nice things. They have wires. Wires aren't wires. Just grand. Little areas were switched out. Here, there's a nice little festive area. In the original map, there's nothing here. And vice versa, on the other side of the map, same sort of thing, but blue themed, because one side of the map is red themed and one side of the map is blue themed. That's just, how Team Fortress 2 works. I don't want to tell you this. You're like 1,000,000 years old. You should know by now. So, going along, there's little details are nice. Like, up here, bunch of presents. Great. I dig it. Over here, in the out of bounds area, bunch of presents. A snow removal truck of sorts. Then, in spawn, it's still everyday, everyday Team Fortress 2 business. Missiles, stuff like that. But alongside the missiles, there's a nice, thing. A nice sort of treat for Santa Claus, possibly. With cookies and milk and some hot chocolate here. Or maybe whoever sits in this chair usually. That booty, though. Oh my god. Okay, I can't look too long, Gonna get banned from YouTube. Maybe. I don't know. Don't look at the booty. Don't look at those. Don't stare at the booty. It's like staring at the sun. You can't do it. Other than that, this map, yeah, it's pretty good. It has a nice reference over here. Oh my god. Dio, is that you? Oh my god. And there's Jotaro, the snowman. Are you approaching me? Are you approaching me? Oh my god, and he was approaching him. This is the stupidest reference, I love it. Let's move on to the next map. And here we are on the third map, Player Destruction SnowVille, a player destruction and festive version of Capture the Flag / King of the Hill / Arena Sawmill. It's 3 maps that's been converted into one. Wait, that's not correct. No, there's different versions of Sawmill, and this is just a player destruction / festive version. So the way this works is there's a capture point, an area where you have to deposit presents. Now, what kind of sucks is that this occurs, this thing happening, the enabling and disabling of the area, the capture point, occurs regardless of there being no one on the server and just me being in spectator mode. A little strange, but so we're gonna see that thing occur from time to time, just happening, just flying by. The pseudo reindeer that are actually pyros. Forget about it. Anyways, so the way this map works is there's 3 capture points, they alternate. This reminds me a lot of Crazy King from Halo. From the original Halo, in its multiplayer, there was something called Crazy King. It was like King of the Hill, except the point moved. And I remember that being really fun, and I think it's really fun in this map. So from what I've played so far, it indeed is. This map looks really nice. There's the thing. See, this is a good touch, by the way, having the indicator above there, that present, to indicate where the King of the Hill is, where the capture point is, where you should be going in order to deposit, to do the objective of the map, right? That's great. That's awesome. That's great. That's amazing. I like it. This map looks good. It kind of reminds me of the previous map, where there was a moon and also the Aurora Borealis, or the Aurora, whatever the inverse is, in the very bottom of the Earth. I forget the name. It escapes me right now. The little changes made, like how this area is extended out, and there's health packs and an elm pack over here, and how this area, well, basically over here leads to that area. There's just an alternate way to get there. I dig it. These small changes are great. They work. Yeah. The center area being way more open and having like a different way to go. This area here is just basically added compared to the other versions. That's great. It makes this middle area a little bit different. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep the saws, but I guess that wouldn't be very festive. As you recall, as you may or may not know, Sawmill, it's known for its saws. It has 2 large saws going back and forth in the center area, and it just kills people, right? It's a fun map hazard. This version does not, but instead there's a nice Christmas tree, and I dig it. I dig it. It's nice. One last thing I want to mention is one bit of theming that I really appreciate. I really like this. In Blue Spawn, you can tell it's blue because the presents are blue. Well, there's more bluishness than... Yeah, there's one red present here. But, just trust me, it's Blue Spawn. Look, see? Blue. Blue side, blue. Perfect, Blue Spawn. On Blue Spawn, blue side, there's a little factory happening underneath the spawn where presents are being presented. That's not correct. Weapons are being made into presents by being wrapped up. And they go down a conveyor belt and they just fall into the abyss. On red side, I like this. The theming, the idea that, like, the industrialness. Because it's true that in the lore of, like, Christmas and the lore of Santa Claus and stuff, this happens. On this side, on the red side, it's coal. Coal is being turned into presents for the bad kids. And that is consistent with the lore of Santa Claus and stuff. And I dig it. That's awesome. That's funny. That's great. That's cool. That's a nice detail to have. Plus, it gels well with Team Fortress 2 lore. The idea, yeah, Team Fortress 2, where just underneath the surface, it's clearly everything is industrial, and this entire area, it's, you know, it's a sawmill. It's a saw area, a place where where logging occurs. Notice how there's logs here to demonstrate the logging that occurs on this map. Wait, what the heck? Is that like it? Is this normal? Is this good? Is this a bug? Just empty space? Weird. Perhaps it's not a bug. I mean, it's not. That's not seeing the skybox. That's just seeing some bit of snow over there. A little bit strange. Forget about that. Not important. All right. I guess I've covered everything. So let's move on to the next map. Here we are on Payload Whatville. Alright, it's that moment you've all been waiting for. The moment where Dom tears up Payload Whatville and says it's horrible in every way. No. I think this map, it's not horrible. It's bad. It's bad. But I'm not gonna say it's the horriblest thing in the world. I'm not gonna over-exaggerate. You think people... A lot of people think this is like the worst thing ever in existence, and I think that is not correct. It is not the worst thing ever in existence. That's over-exaggerating, I gotta say. But I don't like it. I like it a little bit, but not a lot. It's alright. Originally, when it was shipped, it was even worse. Things, such as this spawn room over here, did not have spawn protection, so you spawned in here and it's like, hey, by the way, this is cool. It's cool. This is nice looking at. It's fun. It's weird. It's trippy. But I'm hypnotized. It's, you know, okay, what was I talking about again? I'm hypnotized. No, okay. This spawn room, originally, it didn't have spawn protection, meaning you spawn in here, you can't switch class. You have to kill yourself or go into the other spawn. So that was horrible, but that's been fixed. Other such problems have been fixed. The trees are not vacant. They're not transparent. You don't fly through them and projectiles don't go through them. They've been fixed. A lot of things improved. This map, people are assuming it's like a weird joke because it's really horrible, and I think it has its interesting aesthetic. What I dislike about this map, by the way, it has a lot of references and stuff. It has got its own fair share of things like that. Like, oh no, ho ho ho, oh, so funny. No riders, Rudy, oh man, oh, a guy with a train on his head, oh, it's just like that guy from the Ozcast, oh my god, amazing. That's probably not the reference there, that's probably a different reference, but forget about that. What I dislike about this map is that every place is kind of, there's no landmarks. So, well, you could say there's no landmarks, you could say this is an area with an arch, but everything is similar, everything is repeating. This is, what differentiates that area down there from this area over here? Not much. Over here, not much. Over here, this one area over here is different. Here, this is different. So it's like the inside of a factory of sorts. By the way, another joke. Oh, what? It's gone? What? They updated it and they removed the Poopy Joe joke. Oh, that's super unfortunate. Oh well, maybe it was copyrighted. Who knows? Or maybe the person they took the art from didn't like it, or I don't know. There's at least these jokes that still exist over here. So this area over here also looks different. I dig this aesthetic. The aesthetic that, like, this is a factory, so it has a bunch of smokestacks. They're all like misaligned. That's fun. That's cool. That's interesting. That fits with the Wutville aesthetic. By the way, Whatville, Wutville, it's pretty straightforward. For some reason, people, when the map came out, they're like, oh yeah, oh it just sounds like like Wutville. That's a joke. It's like, no, Whatville. It's the beginning is what and who is a question. It's like, the beginning of who is a question, and the beginning of what is a question. That's the joke. That's the real joke, not the sounding the same. That guy, whoever said that, was really stupid. I don't like that guy. Moving on. Okay, here's another problem. This is like red spawn at first. You come here like, okay, oh, yeah. Where? You get out of spawn, you leave. This is completely the wrong direction. You're going this way, you're going the wrong way. You go left or you go right. So having the arrows. Remember how I mentioned before arrows being important, or I said something about arrows. I don't really recall what I said. It's something along the lines of arrows not really working well in a different map. In this map, it doesn't really work well. These the blue arrows, right? But people are stupid. They don't realize they aren't red and they shouldn't follow blue arrows. Anyways, this spawn room sucks because you exit through it, and the correct way to go is back. So, But on the flip side, when the spawn becomes a blue spawn later on, it is the correct way to go, which is this way. So you leave spawn, you go back this way. Or the other way. To wherever the payload cart is. Like I said, there aren't really that many landmarks. You could say the tunnel at the end. You could say... Yeah, you could say that this is the ending area. That's sort of landmark. This area here. The spawn rooms on the inside. They're all very similar on the inside. Overall, I think this map needs more things to differentiate areas. You can't... This area look a little more like the starting area than anything else. It's kind of too much. It kind of needs something. Or maybe it needs something less. It's very visually busy. One thing that people also criticize this map about is that it's very large and open, so it's prone to snipers. People just like snipers in Team Fortress 2. I agree. It is very large and open, especially near the central path that follows the payload cart, right? Like this area, for example, right here. You're standing here, you're getting sniped. There's someone over there in the distance sniping you. Towards the end of the map, it becomes really kind of obvious. No, actually, what I like about this map, I'm going to say, is it does have like a front line. There is, so near the end of the map here, because it's all open, what happens is, blue side's over here, they're fighting over here around this corner, and because there's no cover, it's just so open, the corner itself is the cover. You're standing, you're huddling in this corner, you're going around, you're doing pot shots, you're shooting a little bit, going ducking behind for reloading. That's okay, that's alright. I dig it, but it could be improved with some cover, that's what I'm saying. Where meanwhile, red team's over here and they're like they're fighting you back. They're like, oh, get back, and it's similar sort of deal where everything's happening at like a front line, and it's good, it's bad, it's both good and bad depending on who you ask, and yeah. Overall, not my favorite map in the world. I could get over the aesthetics. It kind of messes up gameplay a little bit because look at how busy this texture is, for example. Someone standing in front of there, actually. On the contrary, if someone's standing in front of there, they look like a solid object, where this texture, maybe it does have contrast. Maybe the noisiness kind of blends in. One thing I do dislike, though, is the fog. It's like blue and the sky's not the same color. It doesn't really blend into the sky. It's like, this fog is not great. Look at this fog. Maybe they should have used the blue skybox or something a little bit different. They could have done what Left 4 Dead does, where every skybox has a sort of gradients from like completely solid to unsolid at the top, and then it could blend into whatever fog color you have in the skybox fog, and it'll make it, you know, it looks nice, it looks better, it looks a little more consistent at least. It makes it look like the stuff outside. Here, you know, you could tell you're standing here. This is gameplay space right here. There's nothingness there. You could tell there's nothingness there. Perhaps not the best skybox in the world. And I mean in terms of 3D skybox and not the skybox image. But I was talking about skybox image up until that point when I said 3D skybox. Okay, perhaps that's a little bit confusing, so let's end off the video here and just move on. It's an okay map, in my opinion. It plays okay. It could use a lot of improvements.
And that was the video. Thanks for watching. Au revoir.